Good afternoon, Chaos. This is Head again, your friendly Legion's leader. And this time I'm here to do a review of one of the players in our sister guild, Society of Chaos. Now this character, or this person, Anakinn, has asked that I kind of give some guidance on where to help out in the roster and help out with mods in Arena. Now you can see that he has a Wedge and Biggs combo, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, and Grandmaster Yoda, and is currently ranked 58 in Arena. Now for that team to rank that high, I'm going to guess that you are on a fairly new shard, or that they just have really good synergy than what you would expect on paper. But in the long run, I don't believe this squad will be able to hold rank super well for you, just because with a lot of the possible AoEs now, they are very weak and they can get rolled over really easily. So let's look at your inventory and kind of see where we can go from there. Now the first thing I did, like most reviews, is I looked over how many 7-star characters you have. And I noticed that you have right around 22-ish. Yes, 22 7-star characters. Which tells me, again, that you're a fairly new level 85. Or you just have, you're just a fairly new 85 because you don't have a lot of different guys high star levels. You've just gone with a lot of the really good starter characters. And of those that you have 7-star, only 2 are gear 11, 4 are gear 10, and we have another 8 that are gear 9. So you're definitely ready to start stockpiling some gear, but might have some better ways for you to spend your energy than stockpiling gear to use later. But let's have a look and see. And looking at, or since you asked me to look at your mods, I did look at the mods on some of your arena characters, and I noticed that you have pretty much all health mods, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does tell me that you don't have most of the mod options unlocked. So most of my review is going to be kind of guidance on what to unlock and what characters to shoot for, and kind of what your main 15 is going to be. Now, I know everybody likes to do a ton of damage in raids, but without the right kind of mods, you're going to be kind of hampered in what you can do in the raids. And if you don't commit to getting the characters to get the mods you need, you are going to be way behind your arena shard by not getting them. And also, some of the most powerful characters are available at the top end hard modes and the top end cantina battles, which you need very strong groups to get there. So looking at what you have strong right now, I've got some suggestions on what characters to keep gearing and what characters to farm, so you keep all of your options open. Because one of the hallmarks of a game such as this with a long lifespan is that the popular characters change. Okay, the powerful characters change over time, and as people find new combinations, the characters you will see in your arena do change over time. And the only way to keep up with that is to be able to change. That's what's called chasing the meta. Meta is just a fancy way of saying the most popular teams right now. Not always the most powerful, and not always the most outstanding, but primarily the most powerful, and the groups that a lot of people go for, because somebody else found out that they work really well against what's currently there. So meta can change and shift at any time, and you want to be able to either jump onto that or try and get ahead of the meta. And you can't do that with a severely limited roster and no options in mods. So without further ado, to get those powerful characters, you need at least 2 strong teams, a light side team and a dark side team. And you've got a fairly great start on your light side team, and I would recommend sticking with the Wedge and Biggs combo, as well as Stormtrooper Han. Keep him as a tank, and then work in some combination of Lando Calrissian, Princess Leia, and Admiral Akbar, depending on what you are fighting at the time. The only weakness of that group is going to be they are very squishy. They die super fast, so you have to keep a Wedge lead so they heal themselves. And with those 5, if you get them up to gear 10, gear 11, they will take you a long way in the light side hard modes. Now, your dark side, like everybody coming up, really needs a bit of work. Okay, now I'm going to recommend a primarily Empire dark side, because the Empire will work to get you R2-D2 in the future. The Empire group together can help you unlock potency mods, I believe, and they have really great synergy. And if we look at some of the new characters that have been added, they've got a really good future ahead of them. And the 5 or 6 characters I recommend gearing out for your dark side team are Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Boba Fett, and then Royal Guard and Sunfac as your tanks, one or both of them depending on what you're fighting, and Darth Sidious. And all that would probably be best under an Emperor Palpatine lead, because under Palpatine, whenever an Empire character debuffs an enemy, they get either health or turn meter. You can look at his leader ability. Yeah, they get turn meter. And most of the Empire characters do debuff other characters. So Emperor Palpatine is probably going to be your lead for most of your dark side battles. Now, to unlock the mod challenges, or to complete the mod challenges, you're going to need quite a few characters. You will need to get a team of 5 Empire characters that are 5 stars or higher. And for those 5, I'd recommend Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, Royal Guard, Grand Moff Tarkin, and Snowtrooper, because Snowtrooper is already 5 stars, you just need gear. So with this group, gear them up a little bit, maybe to gear 8 or gear 9, and bring them up to levels 80 and 85, and you can 3-star that challenge to get 5 dot mods. Aside from the Empire, you will need a First Order team of 5-star First Order characters. Now, the offense mods are not used very often, which is what First Order gives you. So it will be, it's kind of the lowest of the priority of the mod challenges to 3-star, but in the end you will want that option there. Another group you will need for mods is your Jawas. Now this, to me, is the most important group to be able to max out that mod challenge, because almost any attacker in the raid will need a full set of crit damage mods, and to get crit damage mods you will need 5-star Jawas, gear level 8 or 9, at level at least 72, so that you bring all their abilities up higher. And currently you have no Jawas that are ready for that. And then the last group that you will need, probably the second most important group of mods, is you will need 5 resistance characters at 5-star. So you've got a long way to go here, and you will definitely need to be able to get speed mods, especially if you want to stay competitive in Arena. So there's that right there. So before I kind of recommend where to spend some energy in your Arena tokens and stuff like that, let me finish up making recommendations in mods with your characters. Wedge, the primaries you have are good. If you can, try and make sure you get the same primaries with offense and crit secondaries, and then he will be good to go. Your bigs, again, you want to focus on offense and crit, and for his primary stat, potency is completely and totally wasted. He does not need potency. He does not provide any debuffs to the enemy. He's better off with tenacity, so that he can use his Comrade in Arms whenever it comes off cooldown, and so that his evasion up and crit chance up and crit damage buffs stay there. Princess Leia, good setup with her mods, except for her cross. Again, potency is a waste. You will want pretty much anything else as a primary stat in there. Probably health or offense will be the most useful because she heals herself and offense is offense, but tenacity is not a bad choice either. For your Yoda, who is in the Jedi section, let's make sure that his cross is not tenacity but potency. Remember, he provides a tenacity up buff, which makes everybody pretty much immune to debuffs. So Yoda has no need of tenacity, so don't worry about putting it there. You just need to get him much faster, but not the fastest one in your team. The fastest one in your team you want to be Stormtrooper Han, so that before anybody goes, he gets his taunt off. So in that vein, for the arrow for Stormtrooper Han, you don't want crit avoidance, you want speed, because he needs to be super fast. And his arrow, or I'm sorry, his triangle, you don't need crit damage, you want health, protection, or defense. Because Stormtrooper Han's goal is to get shot as much as possible with his taunt up. Okay, and if he's not taunting, nobody will shoot him. Because his bluff, when he gets shot, he removes turn meter from his enemies. And when he shoots them, he has a chance to remove turn meter. And also when he is taunting, when he gets hit, he gives other players on his team turn meter. So you want to get that taunt up as soon as possible so you can start feeding turn meter to the rest of your team. So arrow speed, some kind of defensive stat here in the triangle, and his cross, good, you got potency. And aside from that, you want as much speed as possible. He needs to be the fastest one in your team, and make it so he can live as long as possible. Now, with that arena team set, where are you going to start spending your energy? Now, we're going to start all the way to the left, and in the guild store, I would recommend farming Jawa Engineer first. Like, make sure you have 400 tokens on hand to farm him whenever he shows up. He's going to show up in the same spot where I have the Gamorrean Guard here already taken. And After that, in this spot where you see Saving Ren for mine, you're going to also see Resistance Trooper. Start farming him. And if you want to continue with the Snow Trooper, he'll show up there as well. But Jawa Engineer and Royal Trooper are the most important ones there. So make sure you're farming them out of the guild store. Okay, out of the Cantina Battle Store, or the place where you redeem your Cantina tokens, you are going to want Jawa Scavenger first. And then once you get him to at least 5-star, you're going to want to start getting Poe Dameron. And after Poe Dameron is 5-star and your Jawa Scavenger is 5-star, then you can start farming First Order Officer, get him to 5-star. Okay, those are the 3 characters you're going to want from the Cantina battles. I'm sorry, from the Cantina stores. To get those tokens, you're going to need to be farming a number of different characters. Okay, somewhere here in the bottom is the two Jawas you could use. One is Dathja, though that's not the best place to farm him, unless the other Jawa, which is just the plain Jawa, you have maxed. If you have that Jawa maxed and you still need tokens for Dathja, go ahead and use them here, but that would not be the best place. After you complete Jawa, I would recommend switching to getting the TIE Fighter Pilot, which is somewhere on 3, 4, or 5. Yes, here he is, on 4B. The TIE Fighter Pilot will be the one you want to max after the Jawa. And then after the TIE Pilot, you're going to want to start working on Kylo Ren. And then after Kylo Ren, you'll probably want to go to stay on table 4, and wherever we saw Finn, I think he was at the end of 3, you want Finn as well. So in the Cantina battles, you're farming Jawa, Kylo Ren, TIE Pilot, and Finn. And take maybe 1 or 2 days a week, instead of farming those guys, to farm mods, so that you still have an income of mods, a steady income of mods, so that you can really boost your characters. Now after the Cantina battles, over here in the Squad Arena, you are going to want to farm another Jawa Chief Nebbit, so that you can, again, 5-star that critical damage mod challenge. I'm sorry, 3-star that challenge, so that you want Chief Nebbit to be 5 stars. And then after you get him unlocked, or even before, you're also going to want to get Grand Moff Tarkin, because you'll need Grand Moff Tarkin to complete your Empire team, and you could possibly use him in the Dark Side challenges as well. So he's another important one to start farming. In the Guild War, the most important character here for you to start farming is Dathja. So if you don't want to spend the Cantina energy, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend unless you're in a super hurry to get him, just use your Guild War tokens to farm him out of this store. And then after he is done, you will want to start farming for the Resistance Pilot, so that you can have him ready for the Speed Mod Challenge. And lastly, since I do notice that you are farming in the ship, since you do have ships, you are going to want Grand Moff Tarkin out of the Fleet Arena store. Grand Moff Tarkin is a very good addition, and Sunfac is another one you will want because he is a great dark side tank and one of only a couple that taunts. So he's very strong, very powerful, and he is 1 or 2 meta shifts from the very, very top tier. So he is always a strong choice in tank, and you're going to want to start farming him out of the Fleet Arena store along with Grand Moff Tarkin. Now, I know that was a lot of information for you and a lot of stuff to consider, but Anakinn, you've got a great start, but still a long way to go before you can really compete in the top ranks of Arena, and you really need to start getting those mods before your raid teams can do fairly significant damage. So hopefully this gives you the kind of guidance you're looking for, and any newer characters in Chaos, or any newer players in Chaos that are just getting to 85 and want to start working on mods, or even that are pretty young characters, I say not young characters, that are very low level, this could also be a great way to kind of start giving you direction in doing or looking at what you need later on when you start mods. So Anakinn, I say to you, good luck. Hopefully you can enjoy the grind as much as the rest of us have and not burn out on it, and look forward to seeing what kind of numbers you can put up and representing Society of Chaos on your shard. And with that, have a nice day, ladies and gentlemen.